The place to be right now is the Politicrat Daily Podcast online store at the-politicrat.myshopify.com. Go there right now for all of your merchandise for the Politicrat Daily Podcast. All kinds of items, t-shirts, everything. It's just so much that I don't even know where to start after t-shirts. But I assure you, you will like what you see. So come one, come all, right now, and buy, and buy. More items added on a daily basis at the Politicrat Daily Podcast store, online, right now, 24/7, at the-politicrat.shopify.com. The following episode of the Politicrat Daily Podcast contains racist epithets and the sound of a gunshot. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the Politicrat. I'm Omar Moore. It is Tuesday, February the 23rd. 2021. On this edition of the Politicrat, 1 year ago today, the assassination and execution of Ahmaud Arbery. It happened on Sunday, February the 23rd. 2020. More coming up next.
I'm your baby boy. I love you, Mama. I know sometimes we don't see eye to eye, but that still don't change the love I have for you. On February 23rd, my son, Ahmaud Arbery, went out for a jog. Ahmaud would go jogging every day. I said, do you think that staying fit is going to make you look as young as me? And he would just laugh. He stopped at a construction site to take a break and to look around for a few minutes. But when he left, he was followed by 3 white men who chased him down and killed him in the street. He was unarmed, but he was black.
Before police arrival, while Mr. Arbery was on the ground, that he heard Travis Michael make the statement, "Fucking nigger."
To me, this was clearly a hate crime. But Georgia is one of 4 states in the country without a hate crime law. If Georgia had a hate crime law, Ahmaud's killers could face additional sentencing for murdering my son because of the color of his skin. As we've seen in the protests about George Floyd, Ahmaud is just one of the many black lives that has been lost due to hatred. Georgia lawmakers passed a hate crime bill. Ahmaud was the baby, and when Ahmaud knew that I was angry and I was upset with him, he would look at me with this really, really funny eye. And he would do that just to make me laugh, just to make me smile. He was not only my baby, he was actually my friend. Yes, Ahmaud's murderers were arrested, and hopefully they'll be thrown behind bars. So why do we even need a hate crime law? Because it would show that targeting someone because of their race is unacceptable. My son's murder was not the only crime committed in Georgia that was motivated by prejudice. Ronald Trey Peters was murdered because he was gay.
Witnesses say his attacker used an anti-gay slur before shooting Peters multiple times.
White supremacists spray painted swastikas on a high school in Roswell.
But parents say the bigger question is, why is there no hate crime statute here in Georgia?
In November, a 16-year-old white girl planned a knife attack on a black church.
The white suspect had researched black churches online and written down how she planned to carry out the attack.
And it's not just recent history.
Georgia Legislative Council has called on the FBI to investigate the reorganized plan.
I know that prejudice and racism did exist in the place that I chose home. I had to explain to Ahmaud that he will be sometimes disliked because of the color of his skin. But when he left our home for a jog, I never thought that I needed to be worried. Ahmaud wasn't killed because he was doing a crime. So why would he have been targeted if it wasn't just for hate? Last year, Georgia State House moved in the right direction, passing House Bill 426, which would impose harsher sentencing for hate crimes. But the bill has been stalled for a year, and state Senate leadership refuses to vote on it. Chairman Jesse Stone and Lieutenant Governor Duncan, please do the right thing. State senators are going back into session. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle support this. Pass a hate crime law. And to have this law passed in the memory of Ahmaud wouldn't bring him back, but it would mean so much to me that him leaving me did change something.
That was the mother of Ahmaud Arbery, Wanda Cooper Jones, speaking last year in June of 2020 to the New York Times, part of their opinion series. This would be the right way to begin this episode. 1 year later, exactly 1 year later, Ahmaud Arbery was executed by 3 white male terrorists on Sunday, February the 23rd of 2020 in broad daylight. A Sunday afternoon jog for all of Georgia to see ended in a brutal murder. This case is ongoing a year later. And as you heard there's no reason why Georgia should be skimping on a hate crime bill. And besides, if black people are a protected class, supposedly, then why would you have to have a hate crime law to begin with? I mean, obviously, I'd want a hate crime law so that this can be dealt with and that justice can actually be done for Wanda Cooper Jones on behalf of Ahmaud Arbery. But it is proof that the system is doing exactly as it is supposed to. It is absolutely proof that if you are having to send out a message to get Georgia and its state legislature to do right, that's proof of the system doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Continue to oppress, continue to discriminate, and to set the white male violent thug free, scot-free. Just under a year ago now, I did an episode on Ahmaud Arbery. And at the time, it was very painful, as it still is. I remembered not being able to jog for at least a couple of months when this case happened exactly 1 year ago today, when this murder happened, this assassination, this lynching happened. That's the effect it had on yours truly, dear listener. And of course, a pandemic was already beginning to take shape. On top of that, so far, Wanda Cooper Jones has not received any justice. All three of these white thugs, these white murderers, in my view, because clearly that's what they did, even though I have not watched the video. Refused to. Yes, there was a gunshot that you heard. And it's really heinous. When we say Black Lives Matter, we are not joking. And the system protects white men, particularly rich white men, obviously, but white men in general, and white women as well, unless they are coming up against white men. And then the misogyny comes into play. But it is very clear to me that you wouldn't have had one of these white executioners on television on CNN's Cuomo prime time for one episode or even two if they were black. I mean, from what I know of the video, all three of them are in the video, including the guy that they interviewed on Chris Cuomo's show last year. And it is incomprehensible to me, but not shocking or surprising, that this guy was brought on as a guest on CNN before he was finally arrested or he turned himself in or whatever. That would never have happened if it were some black youngsters or young men accused of killing somebody white. They would have been locked up immediately. The system is protecting the murderer. And as you may know about this case, there was a former detective or a former investigator who used to work in conjunction with the DA's office who quit the office just not too long before or not too long after this case. And that was one of the three people involved in executing Ahmaud Arbery. This is a very painful time for Wanda Cooper Jones and for anyone who it was close to Ahmaud Arbery. You can't even jog in America anymore. You can't bird watch without somebody calling the police on you. Is this the country that you want? Because if this is the country you want, you're going to get more of the same. And it will be a lot worse. Ahmaud Arbery's pain is still felt, especially by his own mother. And that pain runs deep. It runs really deep. I think it's best to let Wanda Cooper Jones be the voice that speaks volumes. And quite frankly, we must have justice right now. No more delays, no more anything. This needs to be a trial, and it's been long enough now. We've got to get justice for Ahmaud Arbery. As I said, I cannot watch the video. I am fed up of black people being shot down dead in the street. And I don't care by whom. I'm fed up of it happening. This is evil. And the evil must be brought to heel. It's been 1 year exactly. And Ahmaud Arbery, an avid jogger, minding his business, was set upon and executed. We must have justice. We must have justice. Justice for Ahmaud Arbery. Justice for any of the people who have been executed. There's so many people, so many names. This is a day, I think, to get on board the justice train and keep banging the drum for justice, and let's get justice for Ahmaud Arbery. Because his mother is suffering. It's been a year. And we must stand up. Thank you very much for listening to this edition of The Politicrat. I'm Omar Moore.
I'm your baby boy. I love you, Mama. I know sometimes we don't see eye to eye, but that still don't change the love I have for you.